Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see again today, we're back in the 2018 Thor A.C.E 30.2 RV. We went on a trip recently. We drove from North Carolina down to Florida, and I thought about making like a vlog. Should have done it. It was a lot of follies in that trip. The started with the RV got stuck. There's a video a while back of me, our yard, basically where the rear tires end up when we park in this yard. Doesn't have great drainage, and I got stuck. Luckily, the Jeep, I was able to just take the Jeep just like it's designed for, but designed as a tow vehicle. I have a tow strap in there. We wrapped it around the front cross member, pulled it out, just fine, no big deal. As I'm pulling it out, the stairs hit the little wheel on the gate and pulled the middle and bottom hinge out and bent the wheel a little bit. Wheel not a big deal. It didn't hurt the RV, and I just had to find a couple of lag bolts and put it back together, put the gate back together. No harm, no foul. But again, another thing that I'm kind of glad I didn't record it because I was quietly yelling because I have neighbors and cursing under my breath. So that happened. The trip mostly was uneventful, but when we got to the RV park, as we pulled in, we're about to back into the spot, after I backed into the spot, I looked ahead of the RV and there was a puddle of transmission fluid. That wasn't great. We got in, I got underneath, looked at it. I didn't crawl underneath it, looked underneath, looked where the puddle was, where we were sitting, and noticed that the right front hydraulic leveling jack was pouring hydraulic fluid. That wasn't nice. So we were able to get the jacks down, leveled the RV, and it was fine. It wasn't leaking while we were sitting there. One of the problems that we did notice while we're driving down the road the last couple of trips is that an hour and a half into the trip, the jack down light on the LCI electronic leveling system, one of the lights here says jacks down. So that light would come on and it would beep. And that's super annoying because like every 2 or 3 minutes, 2 minutes, it beeps for like 20 seconds. And it just keeps doing that. I am not going to stop until I have to pee. And that's like 3.5 or 4 hours into the trip. So it's just going to go on and on and on. So it went on, and it was annoying. Knowing the jacks weren't down. Every now and then when we stop, if we were not on the highway, we could stop at a stoplight. I would put it in park really quick, turn on the leveling jacks, hit the up button, and it would stop for a bit. So when we got to the RV park, back to what happened in this trip, we got to the RV park, and we ended up seeing a trail. So there was a trail of hydraulic fluid that went back to where we pulled up and checked into the RV park. It was a little light drips, and we cleaned up as we were leaving, and it leaked again, or was leaking as we were leaving, and what happened is we were backing up, took a bunch of paper towels, cleaned it up, disposed of it properly. Obviously we didn't dispose of it in the RV park. It was a lot. We actually got some cat litter and put that down while we were there. We did not put that trash in the RV park's dumpster. We brought it back and disposed of it the right way. But so there were drips, a decent amount of drips every few inches that went all the way back to where we checked in at. So I thought that we potentially hit the front jacks, hit the speed bump as we were coming in the RV park. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't feel it. It's possible because as we're pulling out, the left jack started leaking as well. The rear jacks were fine, just the front jacks. So we'll go outside and I'll show you the best I can with this camera and the lighting, what we see, and then I'm going to take it apart because what we did notice was that once the vehicle is in, the parking brake is on, it doesn't leak. So when the parking brake's on, it's not leaking. When the parking brake's off and it's in park and the jacks are up, then it leaks. So obviously the jacks won't go down without the parking brake being on. So I don't know what causes that. I do know that once you pull the parking brake lever, so if the jacks are down and you pull the parking brake lever, the jacks will automatically retract. So with the parking brake off, what was happening that I noticed was that the motor was still running. So yeah, once again, let's go outside and I'll show you what I see, and hopefully we can pull some bolts off and try and see if we can see anything. All right, let's do this. I don't know how much you can see, but here is this leveling jack. You can see hopefully the wetness down there leading up. There's a hose here. I thought it could be leaking from the hose. This is a wiring bundle, so this top part, what looks like a hose, that's clearly not leaking, but you can't see a leak from here. When this thing was leaking from just behind this fender guard here, you could see some fluid pouring down, but you can't see it. So when I come here, here's this is obviously the battery bay and the access to the pump. This is where I unplugged it at. You can hopefully see the gray. So that's how much far. I just pulled it out slightly and it stopped. So if I were to plug it in, it would probably start going. And obviously we emptied the reservoir, so I have a few quarts and I can get some more pretty easily. It's ATF +3, so that's why I knew it was transmission fluid. And one of the first things I did was obviously get underneath and make sure that the transmission itself wasn't leaking. So would have had to immediately fix that. That would have been a no-go, a showstopper. But I could have fixed some cooling lines pretty easily. In a leak that profuse would probably have just been, cooling lines. But it wasn't the transmission. It was the wonderful leveling system. So yeah, that was great. But I did look into, can you use, because in a typical automotive power steering system, which is just a big hydraulic cylinder, you can use transmission fluid or power steering fluid. I'm thinking power steering fluid would probably not necessarily hurt this, but I couldn't read anything that said you can interchange them. So I'll go back to transmission fluid when I'm ready. But transmission fluid, you can see it's wet here. I did spray it down quite a bit with brake parts cleaner already, but you can't see, because of this, you can't see that jack. So I can't see it from this side, and I can't see the leak from that side. So what I'm going to do is, and like I said, when this was parked and it was leaking, I opened it up, and I noticed this was just running as it's leaking. So I unplugged it, it stopped running, it stopped leaking. So maybe my other thought is with that jacks down light, I don't think there's a leveling sensor on here. I think there is there's a pressure valve or a pressure solenoid, and that pressure solenoid tells us whether or not there's a problem, and that is what that's what actually, or it tells the pressure in each cylinder, and that's what tells the computer, the controller, that one of the jacks were down. So maybe there's a problem with those, and I don't know, can it leak with just having low fluid? I don't know. If it is just low fluid, I'm going to be upset. But I guess in a quick bit of troubleshooting here, and I'll find that out. So first thing I'm going to do, and what I have here are my Cobalt tool set from Lowe's that we bought a couple years ago. This stays with the RV, and then just two of my power tools I do bring when we travel. I have another Hyper Tough, really inexpensive Walmart's 12 volt. It's actually a drill. It's a so this is an impact. It's an impact drill, and then I just use, I think in here I've got in the drawer there, we've just got the bit, you know, that makes it a 3/8 drive, and then we have all the things to switch off. So, you know, I could use all these, or I could, you know, put the 3/8 drive in here, put the 3/8 drive in this one, and use all these other sockets. And then I've got a screwdriver that's kind of the best part. So let me, first thing I'm going to do here is get a 10 millimeter, and I'm going to take this fender guard off, then hopefully I'll be able to see something on the top of this, on the other side up here, and find out what's leaking. So I don't think I'll be able to record that, but it's going to be really simple, just taking these two 10 millimeter bolts out. So I'll take these two 10 millimeter bolts out, they should fall, and then we'll see what we got. So I went ahead and put 2 quarts of ATF in. It got our level up to about, not quite half, maybe a third. So it probably needs at least 2 more quarts of that, maybe 3 quarts. So next thing I'm going to do here is, and that's just, this is just some O'Reilly Premium ATF Dextron 3 Mercon. And then I just got some O'Reilly, this is carbon choke cleaner, but you know, brake parts cleaner, carb cleaner, kind of all the same, or not. All right, so what I'm going to do here is, so I got this splash guard off, and now I can see this line here, so I'm going to spray that line off. Maybe it has lines leaking. And I do have some pig mat here. So what I'm going to do is go in, turn the key on engine off, and then we're going to plug this in. I'm going to come over here and we can see if we can see it leaking from, you know, somewhere. And if it's leaking from above there, I don't know what the heck to say. And we'll figure it out. So with the key on, engine off. Also took the parking brake off, and the carb cleaner, brake cleaner has dried. So here goes nothing. Let's see if we can see any problems. Pump is on. And it's coming from above that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can't see the leak. I can't see it. See? I don't know where it's coming from. I see nothing. All right. Maybe I can put my phone back there and see if I can see something. I'm gonna try that. All right, here we go. Looks like just that line is leaking. Based on that video, it simply looks like that line, this line, has rubbed through on that part of the chassis. This part of the chassis, yep, it's just an angle. So it's rubbed through and it's leaking. That's all it looks like is leaking. So I just need to replace that line. Okay, so I think that line is the crossover line. So looking at these lines, I don't think it's any of these lines. I think, let me see if this one is. No, yeah, so I think it is, it's hard to see. There's a line up there, a red line going across. So I'm thinking it is just the crossover line that crosses over to the other side. Yeah, and without a part number, being extremely hard to see it, and with that line being kind of not good, I don't know how I'm gonna get a part number and order this thing. So yeah, I guess I will clean it up a little bit. I'll check that. At least this one's easy to get to. The other side, I could probably get it by feel. It's not going to be necessarily easy. If I tape the line to itself here, I can roll it over, pull it through the existing loom or spots, and probably get it to the other side. That'd probably be the easiest way, and reach back through and get it here. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. Looks like the line. Sprayed it off again. I can see some numbers on there. I'm going to take my phone and take a picture of those numbers, and then I will see if I can order them.
2 years ago. Yeah, that was a
Hey, too. So it's been about 2 weeks, and this is the second time I'm getting back to the hydraulic leveling issue. I started to do this a week ago. I ordered this orange hose. I knew it was a little long. Actually, it was quite long, like 1/3 too long, but it was easy to find on Amazon, and I thought, this got to be it. Looks like it. It's not. As I started to put it on, I got the tools out, and this one was a 9/16 wrench, fits on the end of that one, and I started to take it off inside and realized that the hose in there is 11/16, so I knew that was going to be a problem. Also, once I got it apart, this hose, this is about $60. This other hose is actually only $40, so the correct hose is cheaper. This one is it's a JIC fitting, so it's a cone-shaped JIC fitting, and the actual hose is so this is a 3/8 inch O-ring Boss. So this is the fitting that goes up in there, and you can see the hose kind of hanging. It goes right beside the on the top proportioning valve or valve block, whatever it is, on the top of that that hydraulic cylinder. But I did find the right hose. This one's like 105 inches. This one's like 150 inches. So it was quite a bit longer. It took some searching to find this hose, even though it's probably pretty easy to notice. But what I almost did was bought, Lippert sells this angle fitting, but 1/4 inch here and 1/4 inch JIC here. So they actually make an angle fitting for this hose. And I probably could have done that. And I knew buying that hose was a little long. It was going to be curled up there anyway. But one of the reasons I got it is you see the orange hose here, and up in there, if you could see along the frame rail going across, it's an orange hose. So I thought, man, it's got to be right. So it wasn't. So here I am 2 weeks later, trying to put it together, joined by Benny, my furry friend there. He's not much of a help. But what I'm going to do is put this fitting back in. So once I get this elbow fitting back in, and that's what the 5/8 wrench is for. What I did here was I found a piece of pipe that's the same threads, and this was actually from I had an air fitting. It's just a chuck to air up tires, and this pipe is between the two pieces of the air chuck. So I have others. So I threaded in here. What I'm going to do is thread this into the other end of that hose that is hanging down there, and hopefully I'll be able to go to the other side and pull it through nice and smooth like, and then put it together without much problem. So I'm going to put this fitting on first, and then we'll thread these hoses together. Hopefully I can get you a good angle with what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. There's not a lot of room here, so just to be aware, you got to get some unique angles. All right, well, hopefully you can see. See how hard this other one comes off. The other side Oh yeah, it came off just as easy, I would say. How are you? I can't even see it. I can't, the way I can fit in here, it's not helpful. So, yeah, it's not turning. I gotta get the wrench on there. So that was fun. That hose is not easy to get to because the orange is so high up. This bundle of wire, this wire loom, prevents me from even getting, being able to see the hose. So I couldn't even see if it was the orange hose or not. So I wasn't even sure if I was getting it off, the right one. And then this cargo storage container, I'm sure there's a way to get it off, but it's not that easy, is completely in the way. So yeah, it was fun. Well, let's say that was fun. So I'm going to decide whether or not I want to change course here and do the setup on this side and pull from the other way, because I definitely have more hose there. I think I'm going to do that. So let me do that now. I switched sides and I just twisted my little fitting into this end. Hopefully, I know right here is a tough little spot. Let me, there we go. So now I'll go to the other side and I'll see if I can pull this through. And I'm gonna stop a little short so that I can hopefully come back over to this side and hook it up. Hopefully I haven't jinxed myself, but I'm gonna leave you here. You can see the loop is already made there, so hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers, hopefully, let's cross some more fingers, it comes through without a problem, because getting underneath here and reaching up there does not look easy. And this is South Carolina. It's a little muddy under this thing and it stinks. So I'm gonna reach over here and pull. Keep an eye on that hose for me. Tell me if it works. You know, I said it was gonna be easy, and I knew that was just jinxing myself. So I'm gonna go get some help. I'll be right back. Go ahead and pull. Keep going.
Yeah.
Is it going or no?
No.
Oh, sorry. Oh, there it goes. Okay, go slow, go slow. No, stop. Stop there. Well, there's my help going in the house. Hopefully you're able to see and hear that. Those wire looms up there, they did get stuck on the farthest, no, the middle one. So I just had her pulling on this end, and I had to pull it backwards, and then she pulled again, and it actually made it right through. So now that it's through, yeah, I'll go ahead and try to hook these hoses up, feed this one back through, loop it somehow, because that's a little bit of extra cabling. And yeah, this one I think is going to be a little bit of a challenge. If you are not good at lining up bolts and brake lines, you know, I've become pretty good at it. Yeah, if you understand what I'm talking about, you probably know exactly what I mean. This one's going to be a little bit of a challenge, so hopefully not. It is 7:14 p.m. 19:14 for those of you types of track time like I do sometimes. We'll see how long this takes. It is 19:17, so left-handed and blind. It only took me about 20 seconds to line that thing up and get it started. So, but you're blind, left-handed, like my head is out here, my shoulder is going that way, but I got it, and it's on, it's tightened down. Now we'll go to the other side. Hope you can see this. Here's the leak. that's definitely it. It was dripping on the other side, but I don't see any problems with the hose. I think it may have just sprayed over here, and even bending the hose, I don't see anything. I think it might have just sprayed over here and just run down the hose. I don't think there's any pressure relief or anything that would have caused it, but yeah, there we go. That's it. I'll figure out how to put this one in here real quick, tighten it up, and then show you how I guess looped that extra hose or left it hanging or whatever I'm going to do, and I'll do it right now. So there's a couple options for routing this hose. Here, this is it here, zip tied to this gray cable. So it just kind of loops in here. I don't even know what I would have done with the extra 50 inches on that hose over there, but this one has a little extra, and seems to be okay here. Not touching anything metal. What I am going to do, however, is, I don't know if I have time tonight, I need to get a few more quarts of ATF, but over here, almost fell down. As you can see how it goes, that hose goes up, and you see the frame rail. So that frame rail is what wore the hole in the old hose. I think I'm gonna get some wire loom. I don't have any right now, so I'm gonna run to the O'Reilly's, grab some ATF and some wire loom. It's getting a little dark, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it tonight, but I will grab those two things. I'll put some wire loom on that, and if I need to put some wire loom over here, I'll do that as well. Yeah, and then once it's wrapped up, we'll fill it up, and we'll I'll put the mud flat back on once I put that wire loom on, and we'll get in. We'll start it up, take it off the parking brake. I'll plug her in, and yeah, we'll see what we got. We'll when I'm ready to start her up, we'll see you guys then. One other thing before I go get some wire loom, fill this thing up. This is North Carolina. I'm a Michigan boy. Lived in Virginia, California, Missouri. I went to boot camp in San Diego, so you know, the real boot camp where there are mountains. The biting gnats here are stupid. Are these the sand fleas they speak of in Parris Island? I don't care, but the biting fleas here suck, and they suck bad. So doing work in the evening like this, you're gonna get bit up. So all right, back to it. The key is on. The reservoir has been filled. That took, it wasn't completely empty, but pretty close. So that took 5 quarts. It's probably slightly above the fill line, but pretty close to it. One thing is, you know, I took the loom here, and I put the wiring loom, might be hard to see, on the hose there. It was extremely tight. I could barely get the zip tie on there, just by the zip tie. So I closed the zip tie on this end, and then fed it over because I know it'd be hard to get on over there. I could barely get the zip tie to go between the frame rail and the hose. I had to turn the wire loom here till it was open, and push the open end, hold it open and go against it, and then twist it. So I think, researching this, there is, I think, a Holiday Rambler or Jayco. I don't know. There's another brand right around this year that uses the same frame, the same Ford F 53, not 35, yeah, 53 frame chassis. That has a recall, it looks like, on this hose for basically doing that. So I don't know if it's the same location, but a similar location where it rubbed. So key is on. Have the engine off, not worried about that. I'm going to plug this in and we're going to see what happens. Okay, so far nothing. Let me go inside. I know with the parking brake on, it doesn't do it. So I'm going to take off the parking brake. We'll see if that affects anything. Parking brake is off. Unplugged it again real quick before I went in. Now, let's see if it does anything. All right. So the pump is running. It's not leaking, but the pump is on. Why are you on? Why is the pump running? Why is the pump running for no reason at all? I don't know. They're trying to build pressure. There's no other leaks in the system. None that I can see anyway. Okay, there. So my guess is it built pressure. It just wasn't able to be forced. So I unplugged this, plugged it back in. Let's go back in and see what the system is doing, if anything, besides annoying me. Because I guess there could be something more wrong with this system than I thought, but I gotta fix one thing to find what's going on with the rest. So here, all the lights are flashing. So there's no type of code, they are just flashing. So yeah, you gotta find out what the heck is going on with the system. Motor's a little bit warm. I don't know what it would be doing. All right, let me do some research here and see if I can figure anything out on this. So when all four of these lights were flashing, like you saw, it's pretty easy to reset the panel. There's a bunch of videos out there, but you just hold down all four buttons at the same time and that immediately reset it. However, the jacks down light was still on. I tried a couple of the reset procedures, let the jacks down six inches, hit the retract button a bunch of times, nothing. As soon as I released the parking brake again, the retract, or you can hear the pump motor running again, trying to retract it. When you hold down, typically when you hold down the retract button, once they're retracted, it stops. But no, it just keeps going and going, thinking that it needs to retract the motor. So what I did, real quickly, this is the pressure relief. I just unplugged the pressure relief valve. I think I'm going to order a new pressure relief valve, and maybe that'll be our ticket. Why that's so dang hot. I'm going to order a new pressure relief valve, and hopefully that that solves our problem. So this blue one with the brass end is pressure relief. Looks like it won't be too crazy terrible. I think a socket may be the best way to get it out. These lines will be a little tough to get a wrench in there, but I'm going to do that. So I'm going to try and find and order that. So I guess I'm going to stop the video here. It's going to work with that unplugged. Seems to be fine. I've got a bunch of other stuff to do on this RV, so working on some other videos, a complete service of the generator. So we're going to do that. That's going to be good here for us, and then I'll replace that. If I need to come back and talk about it, I will. Maybe I'll do something else on it, but it's working for now. With an unplugged, it works like normal. So I think there was a combination of problems here. One, that line, as you saw, did rub But as this thing continued to try and retract and push pressure back into that hose, it continued to build pressure and built excessive pressure, and that excessive pressure caused I think the line to blow in the weak spot. So now the line's replaced, the weak spot's fixed. On the far side of the RV, it comes in at a sharper angle, so it's not against the frame, so I didn't have to protect that one. But this one I protected, and we seem good to go. If I need to diagnose this further because there's other problems, we'll definitely let you know. I'll make another video on that. But if this solves it, if I buy and replace that pressure relief valve and it fixes it, great. Otherwise, I think I'll have to buy some other things, like potentially a fitting and maybe a pressure regulator, or a pressure not a regulator, I'm sorry, but a gauge, so I can see what the heck is going on here and what the pressure is, and make sure that, you know, the system is functioning right. Because otherwise it seems to be fine. It just doesn't sense that the jacks are up, and all the jacks are up. And it was doing this before. We'd drive down the road, and randomly the light would come on and beep and be annoying, and I'd try to turn off. Once we stopped, put the parking brake on, lifted it up, sometimes it would go off, sometimes then it would come back on. Just super annoying. So we'll see if the switch fixes it. So I'll try to find the switch on Amazon and replace that. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for going through this with me. Now time to do some more stuff on the RV and make some more videos. Thanks, guys.